Hello everybody, SpudWeb here in World of Warcraft. I'm doing this unscripted, don't have any talking points or anything planned out, but I did want to address a few things with these two games here today. The most popular MMOs in the world, World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV online. World of Warcraft I went pretty hardcore with. I got very high item level very early in the expansion. I did all of the content that was available, including Mythic, Emerald Nightmare. You know, I've got like all these achievements in the game. So you know, I know what I'm talking about. Mythic or Ursoc, stuff like that. So you know, I've been involved in the endgame world of World of Warcraft quite extensively. So I definitely think that I could talk about the game a little bit. I played Rogue a ton. We can see the played time here, 30 days. Incredible. And now I have unsubbed from World of Warcraft. I haven't played in a week. I was 884 item level total within the first month and a half of the game being released, which is pretty good. So the points I want to go over today: World of Warcraft versus Final Fantasy. What's better? Why? Can you compare them at all? Well, yes. First of all, you can compare them because they are both MMOs. You pay a monthly fee. Okay. World of Warcraft is an amazing game right now. The end game is limitless, it would seem. There's just so much to do, and you know, you can see here with my assassination rogue, I've got 33 points into it, and like I said, I haven't played in over a week. All Vendetta relics, you know, that's the way to go with this build. I've got legendaries. I've got 4 legendaries. Including one on my monk healer. I'm 865 on my monk healer, and you know, so I've played this game a lot. The community in World of Warcraft, let's talk about that. Terrible. I was in an endgame guild, and then I switched to another endgame guild. Both guilds, bad leadership, everybody very immature, many people doing drugs, just incredibly disrespectful people. You know, they don't care what they say because it's the internet, you know. So that part of the game is pretty bad. You know, I really should have gotten some talking points, but I'm just winging it here. So dungeons, the more dungeons you do, the better chance you have of getting loot. If you look at Shift J, and then you can look at the dungeons and then go for the specific loot that you want from those dungeons. This blows away Final Fantasy, for sure. Final Fantasy XIV doesn't have anything nearly as nice as this. There's way more RNG with the gear, which makes it way more addicting to farm. You can scale dungeons with keystones. So a dungeon will start at a base level of 1, and then as you move up and defeat the dungeon in set amount of time, you get keystones, okay? And the keystones go all the way up to 15, which is just incredible. So that's just a very fun thing. The trinkets, the different procs you get, just so much right now in this game that makes it desirable. I will say the graphics are not the best. You know, it's okay. It does okay. Combat, I don't even know if I'll remember my rotation, but I vanished, rupture. But combat's great. It's very fluid, very smooth, and it's very fast-paced. The rotation's not crazy. You know, depending on the class, you're pretty much with this particular class. I'm going through the same actions maybe 4 or 5, 6 actions over and over and over. So it's nothing insane. It's nothing hard. You know, sometimes you'll have to, for rogue, we have energy, which is used to execute our abilities. So this is 55 energy. This ability called Mutilate. Rupture is 25 energy. Energy you use to build combo points. Combo points are used to execute your finishing moves. More combo points, higher damage on the finishing moves. You can see there, this one says 6 points, 336k. So, you know, basically you just go through the rotation. If you have multiple mobs, maybe you want to build combo points on one mob, and then dump those combo points onto another monster. It's exciting. The procs on the trinkets are a lot of fun in this game. I really like that part of the game, and the trinkets are just, there's so many trinkets to choose from, so it definitely makes it very, very fun indeed. And stats, you know, not too many. Each class is going to have stats that are a little bit better than the others, but overall, you know, it's not too hard. You can use a stat calculator to find out what works best for you. It's fun. It's fun to test things, and I've certainly tested things quite a bit in this game. And so, yeah, I got lots of potions of the old war. It's nice to pre-pot before you pull, and then you can use the potion again, and you do incredible damage with things like this. You know, like I said, I've played the game a lot. Overall, I think it's a very, very good game. The reason I'm leaving the game is lack of a good guild, a mature guild that raids at a time that I'd like to raid at, which is earlier in the afternoon to evening. I don't raid after 8 o'clock at night usually because my wife's home and I spend time with her. But a daytime guild is usually best. I'm on Eastern time zone. Anyways, so the reasons I'm leaving: poor community, very poor community. I feel like I've accomplished everything I wanted to accomplish in the game. Yeah, sure, I can equip another legendary next patch, and sure, I can you know, do a new dungeon next patch. But you know, besides that, I feel like I've kind of conquered the game. And of course, World of Warcraft has been out a long time, so all the old content I've done and so on. You know, I've had different accounts and through the years, and gotten rid of some accounts, kept some accounts. It's been a journey, but yeah, it's just it's kind of wore out its welcome for now, and maybe forever. But the things that I went over are quite incredible with this game. The endless gameplay. It just turns your typical dungeon into a dungeon you can keep running over and over and over. So that is a lot of fun. You know, the higher the dungeon, you can see like this is from a Mythic 10 dungeon. So the difficulty was 10. Remember, the highest is 15. And this is what dropped off the last boss. And it's item level 880. The base level for this item is 840. So it's quite a significant upgrade. You know, so running the same dungeon doesn't net the same results as far as loot goes every time, which is a lot of fun. And then the fact that you can further enhance your abilities through this tree. You get artifact traits through doing quests and things. You get points, and you use those points on the tree. All right. Yeah, I got Thunder Fury on my Outlaw Rogue, which is a lot of fun, and then on my Sub Rogue, you know, I've got one of the rare dagger transmogs, and the game's it's a lot of fun, but it's kind of wore out its welcome for now. So let's hop over to Final Fantasy and go over some things in that game, and then I'll give you just an overall like what what I feel is best, and then of course opinions are welcome. So we're loading up Final Fantasy. So in Final Fantasy XIV, let's see. So Final Fantasy XIV, one thing I did not like about World of Warcraft is World of Warcraft does not have a good crafting system. The crafting as a whole is boring. Gathering as a whole is boring. Everything to do with that is just no fun. Okay, with this game here, you have tons of abilities you can use, and I mean, once you get used to everything with the crafting, you do start to get bored, like anything in any game. But it blows away Final Fantasy. Another thing, quickly to point out, the graphics. I mean, if you look at the graphics in this game, they're just beautiful. Okay. They're absolutely beautiful, beautiful. I have very well developed account in both World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV, so I definitely am qualified, more than qualified, to give an opinion. I've done the hardest content that is available in both games, and you know, overall, I think Final Fantasy XIV, the raid requirement for Endgame is 8 people, so certainly everybody has to carry their weight. Which could be said the same with mythic raiding in WoW, except, you know, WoW, 1 or 2 people can die and it'd be okay. You can't res in World of Warcraft unless you have a class that has a battle res, whereas in Final Fantasy XIV you can res. It's just, you know, a 6-second cast timer, so it just takes a little bit more time to get that res off. So, you know, more people can die. You do have a res sickness, though, when you get battle res in this game, Final Fantasy XIV. So you are penalized in a way. But overall, you know, the end game experience, it's very close. The only thing is there is no randomness to the end game experience in Final Fantasy XIV. The loot that drops off the boss is the loot that drops off the boss. In World of Warcraft, the loot that drops off the boss can drop as item level 880, or it can Titan Forge or War Forge and go up to, who knows, 900. I'm not even sure right now what the max is. So, you know, that's a pretty big thing. So with Endgame, you know, you've got a party finder just like you do in the other game. It's not cross-server yet, so you know this game. It's only the first expansion, so they're learning things and stuff, and you know we're gonna have to be patient and wait as players in 14. So basically, we've got a party finder that is for this server only. So the party finder is quite small, and it's quite frustrating. Dungeons, there are plenty of dungeons. They all drop the exact amount or the exact loot that they say they will. There's no randomness to the loot. The only random thing with endgame dungeons, to my knowledge, are the mounts that drop. So there'll be mounts that drop. You can get like, you know, bird mounts and whatever. So these mounts here, they're going to be about a 5 or 10% chance to drop, and it's an 8-man raid, so it may take a while for you to farm them. So that could be a little frustrating at times, you know, because not everybody has them. There's a ton of different mounts to choose from. So that's fun, and there are some really cool ones. Of course, World of Warcraft has hundreds of mounts, and you know, from a comparison perspective, it's no argument there. World of Warcraft wins. The graphics, though, are beautiful here, so you know, that helps in Final Fantasy's case. But the game is just too young. There's just not enough mounts in this game to compare with WoW. But yeah, did I say graphics? Graphics are beautiful, so that certainly helps. So gear, endgame gear is quite stupid in Final Fantasy XIV, in my opinion, compared to what we're looking at in WoW Legion. So the currency, if you go to other, you can look here, battle currency. There's tons of different currencies. This currency, Poetics, is from the original game. So when you were level 50, Cap is level 60 now because the expansion came out. So this is old content currency. Esoterics is currency that used to be the best like 6 months ago, and now it's been pushed away because there's all these new currencies that have been added. Each time there are new dungeons released, there are new currency levels released. So the old currency levels are used to buy the older gear. So if I'm just starting out my class, you know, I'm going to be doing some of the older dungeons first because I can't get into the new dungeons because I don't have a high enough item level. So I come and I do these older dungeons, and then I am able to purchase some of the older gear, and then that'll allow me to get into the newer dungeons. So it's a total cluster mess. You know, there's just so many different gears to choose from, and you know, I just think it's very sloppy and messy. I'm not a fan of the way gearing works in this game. It's not addicting the way it was with Final Fantasy, or with World of Warcraft. It's not addicting at all as it stands. So Sophiac, this is the newest primal that's released, and they drop weapons. So if you go to Trials, and then Trials, yeah, and then you can look at all the different primals, and each one drops a weapon. So you've got like the first one that came out was Limitless Blue, and that dropped like item level 180 weapons or whatever, and the newest one, as you can see, the newest one is dropping item level 255 weapons. So that's good. But like I said, the gearing in this game is not that exciting, and it needs a lot of work. So combat. Let's talk combat real quick. So we're going to teleport over to, and then we'll move into PvP, because that's a discussion that a lot of people want to know about. And of course, with PvP, it's no question, World of Warcraft wins. World of Warcraft has, first of all, more players with that mindset, that aggressive, go get it, let's pwn it up type mindset. The community in WoW is a lot more disrespectful and a lot younger, and I think probably you know, there's more druggies in WoW. There's more just scum of the earth type players in WoW. I mean, it's quite disgusting. If you go into trade chat, it's really bad. So anyway, so with World of Warcraft, you kind of saw the rotation I went through on Rogue. It's about 6 buttons, and you know, it's about the same in this game as well. When I fight a dummy, I have to run away to get out of combat, so I have to like run really far away. It's annoying. But so in Final Fantasy XIV with combat, the rotation's a little bit more in depth, but I'm not a fan of it so much. You know, I think compared to World of Warcraft, it's very similar. I mean, a couple more buttons you're going through. I mean, you can see all the buttons that I have here. but it's nothing revolutionary. They say in the next expansion they're going to redo combat completely, so that's going to be really good. But until then, it's you know, you just move through a rotation. You set up the target to be weakened and reduce their slashing resistance. So we'll show you real quick. I just get this debuff on. It's called Dancing Edge. You can see it up there at the top on the striking dummy. It reduces their slashing resistance, and then I just drop a couple of dots, Mutilate, and then I drop Shadow Fang, and then you know, you move through your rotation. Usually then you'll just go through your rotation. It's pretty straightforward. It's a little bit more in depth, you know, having to worry about dots wearing off and things like that is kind of annoying. But it is what it is. It's the same in World of Warcraft. That's why I have weak auras. And so now here with dueling, dueling, you're only allowed to do it here in this one section. This is the dueling area. So yeah, it's cool. Yeah, World of Warcraft blows away Final Fantasy in PvP. Final Fantasy feels really clunky, like the actions, the way you attack people, the movement, everything's pre-planned. So in Final Fantasy, like, they don't allow you to, like, simple little things you can't do, like you can't jump from one thing to another, like you'll be stuck. World of Warcraft, you get that freedom, that sense of freedom. See, like, even this, like, I can't even jump from here to there because they've got these invisible walls everywhere in this game. So the sense of freedom, there isn't one, really. You don't have that freedom in this game, unfortunately. You know, but there are a lot of good things about this game. The housing's great. You know, we've got a house, and you can set up the house with all types of things inside of it, which is fun. You know, the music in FF is amazing. It definitely beats World of Warcraft, and the community is great. People are just so helpful. There's a lot more casuals. It's a very small hardcore community, so the emotes are great too. You know, we'll leave you with this little dance. You can see my glamour. I was able to do my hair. You know, you can do a little face paint and stuff. And with the next expansion coming out, I definitely am way more encouraged to play this game over World of Warcraft. The grinding and the end game in World of Warcraft and the RNG involved with the loot that you get is certainly more fun, even though it sucks in a way, because, you know, relying on RNG to get loot kind of sucks, but it is certainly more fun than this game. Okay? So, you know, that's all I've got. Sorry, it's kind of unplanned, and I just wanted to go over a few things. World of Warcraft, I'll miss it. I'll certainly miss it. But, you know, I'm leaving it for an equally good game in my mind. And this game, Final Fantasy XIV, has a lot more upside than World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft, you can definitely tell, is on its way out, for sure. And so, with that, I am excited to see what the future holds for Final Fantasy XIV. All right. And with that, we will say goodbye. And yeah, I've got a jukebox in the house that plays different songs all the time. Alright. Thanks for watching, guys. And comment if you have any thing to contribute to this conversation. Goodbye.